It's common knowledge that conditions out at sea may get rough, which is why many freight forwarders emphasize on the importance of properly packing and secure your shipment. But given the unpredictability of Mother Nature, shipments are never entirely safe. Without thousands of cargo ships traveling the world daily, the risk of lost or damaged cargo is a very real scenario. In ocean freight, it's always better to be safe than sorry, and one way to do so is with cargo insurance. As a type of transportation insurance, ocean marine insurance intends to protect the goods while they are at sea and in transit. By the legal definition, it refers to insurance that covers three property types: cargo, hull, freight, plus liability from negligence. Ocean marine cargo clauses of the People's Insurance Company of China, namely CIC, was constituted in 1972 and revised in 1976 and 1981. According to the Chinese practice, scope of insurance coverage mainly has two types: basic coverage and additional coverage. The risks on the basic coverage indicate that the risks can be covered independently but not attached to any other particular average. Basic coverage can be classified into three categories: FPA, WPA, and all risks. FPA, free from particular average, refers to non-liability of intermediation to particular average. This coverage is the most limited form of cargo insurance cover under which partial loss or damage resulted from natural calamities is not recoverable from or indemnified by the insurer, unless these natural calamities occur before or after the fortuitous accidents. It provides coverage for total losses and the general average. WPA, with particular average, means that in addition to the liability scope of FPA, it also covers the partial loss that is not covered by FPA. In other words, WPA provides a more extensive cover against all loss or damage due to marine perils throughout the duration of the policy, including partial loss or damage attributed to the natural calamities themselves. This policy acts as an extension of the FPA to cover the damages incurred by harsh weather. Eventually, in many cases, the FPA and the WPA may be extended to cover non-delivery, theft, and pilferage. All risks, sometimes referred to simply as AR, is the most comprehensive of the three basic risks. Even though the name of this coverage implies all risks, this average shall not cover against the risks or loss or damage all in all. The coverage of all risks, however, covers wider scope, which means that the insurer shall undertake, in addition to the liabilities on the FPA and the WPA, the liabilities to indemnify the insured, the total or partial loss and the cargo insured, either arising from perils of the sea or general extraneous risks during the course of transit. Most cargo insurance policies adopt all risks term. According to marine cargo insurance clauses, this insurance is against all risks of loss of or damage to the subject matter insured, but shall in no case be deemed to extend to cover loss, damage, or expense caused by delay or inherent vice or nature of the subject matter insured, or special extraneous risks. In a word, among the three basic clauses in CIC, the coverage of WPA is less than all risks but more than FPA. Any of them can be covered independently, but no matter which clause you choose, it does not cover these 5 losses or damages that are caused by the intentional act or fault: that falling under the liability of the consignor, that arising from the inferior quality or shortage of the insured goods prior to the attachment of this insurance, that arising from normal loss, inherent vice or nature of the insured goods, loss of market and or delay in transit, and any expenses arising therefrom, and the risks and liabilities covered and excluded by the ocean marine cargo war risks clauses and strike, riot, and civil commotions clauses of CIC. Marine cargo insurance also covers additional risks. As a complement of the basic risks, the word additional shows the feature that these risks cannot be used to insure goods alone. When you ask for one or several of the additional risk coverage, you will have to ask for one of the more basic risks coverage at the same time. Additional insurance coverage consists of general additional risks and special additional risks. As you can see, there are 11 kinds of general additional risks under CIC, like theft risk, shortage risk, breakage risk, etc. It's important to know that all the above additional risks have been included in the all risks. Therefore, if the goods are covered with all risks, it is no need to cover the general additional risks. Different from general additional coverage, special additional coverage covers the loss or damage caused by some special extraneous reasons, such as politics, law, and regulations, such as war risk, strikes, riots, and civil commotions, etc. As Chinese firms usually adopt CIC, insurance companies in other countries may also have their own insurance clauses to guide their insurance practice. Among them, the most important one is London Institute Cargo Clauses, ICC, which was initially published in 1912. The latest version was made in 1982, and it came into force on April 1, 1983. This is widely accepted in world cargo insurance practice. It consists of 6 insurance clauses, namely Institute Cargo Clause A or ICCA, Institute Cargo Clauses B or ICCB, Institute Cargo Clauses C or ICCC, Institute War Clauses Cargo, Institute Strike Clauses Cargo, and Malicious Damage Clauses. The scope of ICCA is similar to that of all risks under CIC. It represents the most extensive form of protection and provides all risks covered against the physical losses and damages to the subject matter insured, including both total and partial loss. The exclusions are exclusions of general average, of unseaworthiness and unfitness, of all and of strike. The scope of ICCB is similar to that of WPA under CIC. The scope of risks covered by ICCC afford the minimal protection available and are really only suitable for goods which are customarily insured against the major casualties only, or which shipped in bulk, or when the condition of the goods is not known by the insurer. Please note, any insurance you'd like to cover has its commencement and termination, namely duration of insurance. It is the period throughout which the insurance company undertakes any insurance liability. There are different stipulations over this clause in the world. Nearly all the cargo insurance business now includes what is called the warehouse-to-warehouse clause, or WW clause. CIC also adopts this in this insurance practice. Warehouse-to-warehouse clause is a clause in a cargo policy defining when coverage attaches and terminates. Accordingly, Coverage attaches when the cargo leaves the warehouse at the place named in the policy and continues during the ordinary course of transit after discharge at the final port. Coverage under the policy ends once the cargo is delivered at the final warehouse at the destination or 15 days after discharge if the final destination is within the port or in the case of destination outside the port. The coverage ceased 30 days after discharge. Think of cargo insurance like your health or life insurance. As you can see, there are plenty of cargo insurance you can choose from, each within its own coverage and limitations. While choosing the right insurance might seem tough, there's hope. Depending on the shipment, freight forwarders can assist in getting better insurance coverage for the goods. They also offer services when it comes to filing an insurance claim. That's it for today. See you later.